And we're live.
Yep.
Welcome to this live stream where we're going to talk about some new capabilities in Crystallize. My name is Bård. Today we have Vasil, lead frontend here at Crystallize, with us.
Hey everyone.
The topic, as you know, is of course the newly released Flow Actions. And we'll dive through the details of how it works and set up some examples of what you can do. This is available now. It's in production. And I guess without further ado, should we start by showing some stuff? And maybe if we start with, okay, what are flows, right? If you're not using flows today in Crystallize, here you have an example of typically what flows are being used for today, like content quality. So like there's multiple steps here with typically both to organize the state of product information or marketing content, but of course also automation. Since we have webhooks, of course, when items enter a stage, we fire a webhook, and also when they leave, so that we have control over the orchestration of what's going on. Yeah. So, but that's what you can do today, content quality. And let's look a little bit further of what we've added now with Flow Actions.
Yeah. Shall we take a look on the next flow that we prepared over here, the translation to Norwegian flow?
Let's do it.
Yeah, what you see here is just an empty flow, no items currently. But what is more interesting is like how is the flow setup, right? That's where actually the new flow actions are coming into play. And to look at kind of what's the flow setup, what we can do here, we can just go to edit flow over here at the top in the toolbar.
Yep.
And what you get to see here is actually the new manager that allows setting up the flow with making connections between different stages, defining all the actions that go into a stage, and all of that is just the place where you start usually, right? So let's maybe talk about what we see here, Bård, on the screen.
Yeah, because first of all, you see, if you zoom a little bit out, I guess there's a stage, additional stage here, right? So it's a quite simple flow here. And it's all about, in this case, automating translation. So basically, the thinking here was you send a product when it's gone through content quality control, you send it to this translate to Norwegian flow. We put up a stage 1 that says new, that just moves it to the next stage.
Yeah.
A little bit just to show that you can have these automated actions. And this is exactly what the flow actions are. On the right-hand side, you have a list of actions that you can drop into a flow, and they will be executed sequentially. And in this case, we have here the translate stage, which basically it fires off a webhook, and that is where you would connect your translation service, right? So fires off a webhook, you have an integration layer, a Lambda or whatever kind of tools you use. And we added also a retry here. So let's say that the translation failed. You can move it to the retry stage, and here we just put a delay. I think it was a couple of hours, and then it moves back up to the same stage. So it will retry until the translation flow succeeds and moves it to the last stage, which is publish. And the new thing you can see here is the actual publish action, which does publish. Previously, you would have to do that yourself in the wherever you're catching the webhook, right? So the thinking here is that you can do scheduling, you can do orchestration, you can do delays and wait, and kind of automate your processes for items.
So what you're saying pretty much, Bård, is that a lot of these things that before our users were able to do by themselves by just listening to webhook, like as you said, publish, for example, or delay, we are now taking off that from their shoulders, and then we're doing it on our side. With these actions which kind of automate different things, right? Like delay, and then after a certain time just move to the next stage, or publish the item. There are a lot of different things that can be done, and as you mentioned earlier, all the possible actions we see here on the site.
Cool.
Yeah,
let's make one.
Yeah, let's build one to see how that works really.
Yeah.
Okay, so what should it be though? Like what kind of flow we should actually try to do here and do the setup for the flow, right? That's the interesting part.
Yeah, so we have a content quality, we have a translation. What about like a content refresh, something like this, so that we schedule something to be published, and then we schedule a refresh, let's say 180 days later, that we have a refresh of the content.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good one, because we've seen that quite often. People really just publish something like a content on the internet and they forget about it, and then it gets easily outdated after a few months or weeks
or years.
They never go back actually to refresh the content. So why not we set up a flow so we don't forget about that, right?
Yeah.
First, we start here by creating a new flow, and you said content, publish, and refresh, for example. Okay, so that's going to be the name of our flow. And in our first stage here, what should it be? Do you say like new? That's going to be like the new.
Yeah, new, or should we say schedule?
Schedule. Almost. Schedule.
And because here we could drop a schedule event, and so there's two time-based actions that we can talk about, because they do the same thing in different ways. They wait.
Those are the blue ones here on the screen, or the
purple?
Purple? Yes.
Yeah. So schedule, it does exactly that. It enables you, when you send something to a flow, to input a date and a time. Right, schedule this Friday at noon, for example, and then what you can do after that is throw another action. Let's do publish.
Okay, so we schedule, and over here, as you can see, actually we can drop the publish in a different spot, right? Because the actions are executed in the order that they come. So this is important. So we first want to schedule the date and then publish. So that's why we're gonna drop it after the schedule action.
Yeah.
Over here.
Okay, so this is something where, I send it to this publish and refresh flow, goes to the first schedule stage. I input a date when I'm on the product or story I want to publish, and it waits, and then it publishes. Right. So, and it's still the same, like when content enters or leaves a stage, we fire off webhooks, right? So you still can do whatever you want with on the webhook side of things.
Yeah. Cool. And then from here, maybe we should move it to the next stage once it's published.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a stage where we just have a wait delay. So like a wait for. Let's do 120 days. Why not?
Yeah. To be more descriptive.
Yeah.
Cool. And then over here, then we're going to add the delay, right? Action. And let's not forget about the move, right? We want to move it from the publish. We want to move to the wait for 180 days.
That's a good point. So 3 actions on the first one. First, we wait until the scheduled date, we publish, and then we move it to the next wait for 120-day flows.
Yeah. So from here, once it enters this stage and waits for 180 days, maybe that's where the next action should come, right?
Yeah. So, and let's say we make another action or another stage which notifies editors. Let's say let's do simple, sending a Slack message when you get to this stage, something like this. listening to the webhook, and it says on Slack, here's an item, Vasil, you should update it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the Notify editor stage, and should we use the advanced to next stage, or maybe that's the most kind of logical way to go?
Yeah, from the waiting stage. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because as you can see here, the connection is built straight away, right? So with the move action, for example, we can decide where to move, where with advanced to next stage is kind of very descriptive that we just move to the next stage over here. So cool.
Which makes sense in the case that maybe you can show a move now, because what we want to do is we ping the editors, not going to do anything more, and then loop back to wait for another 120 days.
Yeah. Okay. So to do that, I guess we just need to grab it and hook it back over there.
Yeah. Nice. So basically, we get a loop here. So this will now, for perpetuity, every 180 days, move to the next stage and move back, and fire up webhooks at the same time. So that is, I think, a good example of kind of showing two things. It's a scheduled publishing flow, but also it's a content refresh, or if you want to do time-based updates or procedures. Maybe you want to unpublish after a certain amount of time. You can automate things like this, so that if it's I don't know, product that is going to be deleted, maybe you want to keep it for a certain amount of time and then unpublish it, and then you can go on and delete the product if that's a flow you're interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's basically it in terms of the capabilities of flow actions. You can build quite cool workflows. You still have the full power that you have today with webhooks and all the events. But in addition, you can have these orchestration events and schedule delay, which is super useful for campaigns, or if you want to do content refresh as we do here. One thing that we maybe could show is if you want to add another stage, because I do see that there's a black dot on the publish there, and maybe we should just mention that.
Oh yeah. So then we will go into the editing of the stage, right? And that's what it is here on the site, and then we get to see actually all the actions that are in the stage.
Yeah.
And here for the publish, we have something very interesting, right? You want to talk about it?
Sure. So basically, there are rules that you can set in Crystallize for data quality, for example. Title needs to be such and such. This field needs to be filled in. And this is an example of what we could do as an enhancement of our content quality flow, but we could add just another stage here, which is failed publishing. What should happen if the publishing is unsuccessful? Because that is a potential outcome of a publish action, because maybe it's not complete, right? That's typically what it means, that the content is not complete. So that's why you can also drag directly from the publish into a failed state. This could also be another flow. So we could potentially say that we actually want the publish to go back to the content quality flow, and in the beginning there start over, right? So that you can automate between different flows again. And maybe we should show that also.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So how can we do that? I will first delete it over here. I even can remove this because we don't need it anymore.
Yep.
So how can we add a external flow, or flow which is not this particular one, right? Here on the publish action, as you can see on the sidebar, we can choose to which other flow we want this to go. And let's say, as you mentioned, like going back to content quality, and which stage let's say, going back to draft.
Yeah.
And this will make a new connection that when the publish fails, the event, the item will be sent to a different flow, which is the content quality in this case, to the draft stage again, and start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these types of loops and fail safes and retries is kind of super simple to do now, because you can just drag and drop to enable it, and then again use the webhooks for when you want to do an integration with your translation service or your favorite AI service for further automation.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for now. This is available now, so you can check it out in a tenant near you already. We will do another stream next week, so if you're curious of what that will be, you can subscribe and you will get a notification on that. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye.